Welcome to today's deep dive. You guys are really digging into the book of Revelation, huh? Especially Dr. Patrick Briney's take on it. Seems like you're interested in unpacking Armageddon, the whole marriage of the Lamb thing, what it all means.
Yeah.
Heavy stuff.
Yeah, you could say that. Definitely diving into some pretty vivid imagery and symbolism here.
No kidding. So chapter 19, right, kicks off with this epic showdown, Armageddon. Dr. Briney doesn't hold back, does he?
Not really, no. He basically describes it as like the ultimate battle between, good and evil.
Right.
And it's not just like a small scale thing either. We're talking kings from all over the earth joining forces to, challenge Christ himself.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we have this massive army ready to go head-to-head with, well, the Son of God. Talk about picking a fight. But here's the thing. This isn't your typical battlefield, is it? How does Dr. Briney picture this clash going down?
It's actually even more, well, unexpected, I guess you could say. No, like lightning bolts from the sky or anything. Dr. Briney makes it really clear that Christ doesn't fight a conventional battle. Nope. His weapon of choice is actually his word.
Hold on, his word? So, there's no epic clash. No, swords and shields and all that?
He just speaks.
Huh.
It is done. That's it. That's all it takes. The beast, the false prophet, all those armies, they're finished. Just like that, by the power of his declaration.
Wow. Talk about a mic drop moment. Okay, not what I pictured, but I'll say definitely makes an impact.
Yeah.
Makes you think about, the power of words.
For sure. And actually, it gets even more intense. After this victory, things take a bit of a turn, you could say. Dr. Briney describes this scene, a supper for the birds, and it's definitely not your typical victory feast.
Yeah, no kidding. That's where Dr. Briney's writing really, grabs you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's the deal with this, shall we say, unconventional feast?
It's pretty graphic. We're talking an angel calling all the birds of the air to come and feast on, well, the flesh of the defeated armies. It is. It's brutal. But it's also stark, and it really drives home the finality of judgment, evil is completely eradicated.
Wow. Okay, so we go from this epic face-off to, well, let's just say it's a powerful image that really sticks with you. It definitely makes you wonder about the implications for both the, the wicked and the faithful.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no doubt. Dr. Briney doesn't exactly shy away from the harsher side of Revelation, but from that image, with the birds. He takes us somewhere completely different. We go to a wedding celebration.
Oh, yeah. From a battlefield to, a banquet hall.
Uh-huh.
That's quite the shift.
It is.
So this is where we get to that whole marriage supper of the Lamb. What's Dr. Briney say about who this Lamb is? And, more importantly, who gets invited to this cosmic party?
Okay, so this is where his interpretation gets really interesting. The Lamb, obviously, that's Christ. But the bride, that's not who you'd think. It's not just one person or figure.
No.
Yeah, Dr. Briney talks about how it brings together the Old Testament faithful, symbolized by Israel and the New Testament believers, the church. They all come together as one bride, united, and devoted to Christ.
Wow. Okay, so this big picture of unity. So what about the supper itself? What's the significance?
Well, he describes this incredible heavenly banquet, all believers, past, present, everyone. He's really emphasizing that it's not just about, a party.
Right.
It represents the fulfillment of God's promises and the eternal fellowship he offers to those who believe,
It's not all harps and clouds. It's about connection with God and with each other.
Yeah.
Really makes you think about how what we do now ties into, this bigger story.
Definitely. Really emphasizes the significance of our choices. And the hope for those who follow Christ.
Yeah. Speaking of choices, what really struck me? Dr. Briney connects Jesus to the whole idea of prophecy. He's not just in the story, he is the story. How does Briney explain that?
That's a great point. He's basically saying that throughout Scripture, but especially in those prophetic books, everything points to Jesus.
Oh, wow.
He sees Jesus as the ultimate fulfillment of God's plan, the ultimate revelation.
Right. It's all those prophecies, all those glimpses into the future, they make sense when you view them through that lens, the lens of Jesus.
Exactly. It's not just a bunch of, cryptic messages anymore. It's a whole narrative, and Jesus is at the center.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? We've got battles and feasts and weddings, and it all kind of comes together to tell this, this huge story, redemption, hope, all of that.
Right. It is pretty incredible. Dr. Briney really shows us how much is going on in Revelation, those layers of meaning that you might miss, if you're just skimming.
Totally. Makes you want to go back and read it again, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So as we're wrapping up here, all this talk about Armageddon, the marriage supper, the whole bit, what's the main takeaway for our listeners? What do you really want them to think about?
Well, I think at its core, Dr. Briney's work is really about a choice.
Yeah,
He
but-
doesn't sugarcoat things,
Yeah.
you know. He shows us that judgment is real, but then on the other hand, you've got this powerful vision of hope, unity, but it's for those who decide to follow Christ.
There's that question again, isn't it? Which side are we on? And it's bigger than just like predicting the future. It's about what we do now because of what we believe about God's plan.
Exactly. Revelation, with all its, its crazy imagery and symbolism, it's not just a puzzle to solve. It's a call to action.
To choose faith, not fear. Hope over despair. And to stand with the one who wins it all in the end. Well, this has been a deep dive for sure. Thanks for joining us as we explored the book of Revelation with Dr. Patrick Briney. Hope you learned a lot and that you'll keep digging into this stuff. It's pretty amazing when you really get into it.